AITA for refusing to support my family after they used me as their backup plan for years? I'm a man in my early 30s, and for as long as I can remember, my role in my family was never just son or brother. I was the safety net, the fixer, the one everyone leaned on when things went wrong, while no one ever stopped to ask what it was doing to me. Growing up, my family looked normal from the outside. 2 parents, 3 kids, a modest house, birthdays, holidays, family photos. But inside the house, everything felt unstable. My parents argued constantly about money and stress. My older brother was reckless, impulsive, and always chasing the next idea without thinking it through. My younger sister was emotional, sensitive, and constantly overwhelmed by life. Somehow, without anyone ever sitting me down and saying it outright, I became the responsible one. When I didn't make trouble, I was praised. When I helped, I was rewarded with approval. When I stayed quiet and absorbed tension, I was called mature. At the time, I thought that meant I was doing something right. I didn't realize that I was slowly being trained to ignore my own needs. By the time I was a teenager, I was already mediating arguments that had nothing to do with me. If my parents fought, I was expected to keep my siblings calm. If my brother messed up, I was asked to talk some sense into him. If my sister had a breakdown, I was told to be patient and understanding. No one ever asked how I felt. I was just expected to handle it. As adults, the pattern only got worse. My brother bounced between jobs, relationships, and half-finished plans. Every time something fell apart, he needed help. Money for rent, a place to stay, someone to smooth things over with our parents. I helped because if I didn't, I was made to feel like I was betraying the family. My sister struggled with responsibility and impulse control. When she lost housing, she moved in with me. When she needed help with bills, I covered them. When she got pregnant unexpectedly, everyone just assumed I'd step up. My parents never directly ordered me to help, but they didn't stop the expectation either. They'd say things like, "You're strong, you can handle it," or "You're the only one we can rely on." At first, that felt like trust. Over time, it felt like a trap. I didn't realize how deep it went until I tried to say no. The first time I really pushed back was when my brother asked for yet another loan. I'd already lent him money multiple times, and none of it had been paid back. I explained calmly that I couldn't afford to keep doing this. I wasn't angry. I wasn't accusing him. I just said no. The reaction was immediate and intense. My mom cried and said I was being cold. My dad said family doesn't keep score. My brother accused me of thinking I was better than him. The guilt was overwhelming, and eventually, I gave in, not because I wanted to, but because it felt easier than standing alone against everyone. That moment taught my family something dangerous. My boundaries were flexible if they pushed hard enough. From then on, every attempt I made to prioritize myself was treated like a betrayal. If I was tired, I was told others had it worse. If I was stressed, I was reminded of how much everyone needed me. If I hesitated, I was guilted until I complied. I didn't even realize how exhausted I was until my body started showing it. Constant anxiety, trouble sleeping, a sense of resentment that made me feel ashamed. I loved my family, so why did I feel angry all the time? Therapy was what finally gave me clarity. My therapist used words I'd never applied to myself before: burnout, enmeshment, parentification. She asked me a question that changed everything. What would happen if you stopped? I didn't know the answer, and that scared me more than anything. The breaking point came when my parents sat me down and told me they were planning to downsize their home. Casually, like it was no big deal, they mentioned they'd probably need financial help and maybe a place to stay temporarily. There was no plan, no timeline, just an assumption. My dad shrugged and said, "We'll figure it out." My mom smiled and said, "You always do." Something in me finally broke, not in anger, but in clarity. I told them I couldn't do it, that I needed to focus on my own life, my own future, my own stability. I said it calmly. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. And everything exploded. My mom accused me of abandoning them. My dad said I'd forgotten everything they'd done for me. My siblings reacted with panic and anger. My sister cried and said I was ruining her child's future. My brother said I was selfish and heartless. Not one person asked why I felt this way. Not one person asked how much I'd already given. They only cared that the safety net was gone. After that, things changed fast. The calls slowed. The warmth disappeared. Conversations became short and transactional. I realized something painful but freeing. When I stopped being useful, I stopped being valued. Extended family got involved, of course. I was told I needed to compromise. That family sacrifices for each other. That I was holding grudges. What no one seemed willing to acknowledge was that the sacrifice had never been shared equally. It was expected of me and optional for everyone else. I still feel guilt. Years of conditioning don't disappear overnight. But I also feel peace for the first time in my life. I sleep better. I don't dread my phone ringing. I don't feel responsible for fixing problems I didn't create. I love my family. I don't wish them harm. But I'm done being their backup plan. I want relationships built on mutual respect, not obligation. I want a life where my worth isn't measured by how much I give up. So here I am, asking honestly. AITA for refusing to support my family anymore after years of being used as their safety net, even if it means they struggle without me? Thanks for watching. Tap like and subscribe if you're into wild Reddit drama. Speech Balloon got an opinion? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you would have done.